Well, hello everyone. I'm Thomas Wooden Railway, but for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to become Thomas Wood Railway as I show you guys this Thomas and Friends wood layout that I have built. For those who don't know, Thomas Wood was a very short-lived failure of a toy merchandise line that was intended to replace Thomas Wooden Railway back in 2017, and by like 2020 or 2021, it had already been taken off the market. So anyway, I wanted to build this layout because I have accumulated a decent amount of merchandise over the years, and I wanted to show what it would look like if somebody like myself, who really enjoys building layouts, kind of tried their best to build a Thomas Wood layout and try to make it as cool as possible. But in my opinion, as you can tell, I mean, this is a far cry from the awesome Thomas Wooden Railway layouts I've built over the years, and I don't really think it's my fault. I think it's just, you know, the track pieces and the lack of switches and risers and cool destinations you got in this range just make it really, really difficult to build something worthwhile. So anyway, I was initially introduced to Thomas and Friends Wood back in 2017, early 2018, because at the time I was working on the Thomas Creator Collective on the Thomas and Friends YouTube channel, and we were told that beginning in 2018 we were going to have to start filming with Thomas Wood. Now, I wasn't super thrilled about that, but it really wasn't my decision. So I was sent a lot of Thomas and Friends Wood toys in the mail. It was originally all of the unpainted engines, because as you may or may not know, these painted engines that you see in front of you, these came a little bit later. Originally there were unpainted engines that looked like 10 times worse. So basically I was sent a lot of toys by Mattel. I filmed a couple episodes for the TCC, and then in like March of 2018 we got notice that like, hey, stop promoting Thomas Wood. They didn't like outright cancel it or say that they were going to change it, but they pretty much said like, hey, don't bother using the toys in official videos, which was really puzzling. So anyway, in 2019 they reintroduced the engines with actual, like, they were fully painted, which was really nice. But honestly, this is something that like they shouldn't have ever taken away in the first place. It was just kind of putting like a band-aid like on a really big mistake. And then by the time like 2020 came around, there were fewer and fewer releases. We got Edward and Toby and Henry over there in the corner, and Etienne, and that was pretty much it. But fortunately, we don't have to live in a world of Thomas Wood anymore. The revived Thomas Wooden Railway toys are really, really awesome. But I did want to take a moment to just look and see what we had to deal with for a few years back in the day. So there were a lot of things not to like about Thomas and Friends Wood. For one thing, they changed the track system, not only the connectors here, but also like the type of track pieces you would get. And that really affects how you would build a layout. So not only are you no longer able to choose like, oh, I want like a short piece of track, you only get like this 1 6-inch piece of track right here, and that's what you have to deal with. You don't get like the 2 inches, 3, 4, 6, 8, none of that. Also, the curves here, they're set at like a different radius, like a different turning radius. So instead of them being set at like 45 degrees, like all other, you know, wooden railway toy lines, they are set at 60 degrees, which means, as you can see right here, it takes 3 curved pieces to do 180 degrees, whereas it used to take 4 pieces, and that really screws up what layouts you can build and how everything looks. So with really only 2 pieces of track to utilize, I mean, we do have ascending pieces of track, but they never really included risers, so you pretty much have to go up and then go right back down. There is just a lack of creativity, and you can just tell that the soul of Thomas has just been sucked out of a layout like this. I had to buy, well, I was sent several, but I had to buy several more expansion packs that came with a bunch of curves and a bunch of straights, and then one of the pieces came with like these cow muddy footprints here, which is why I have so many cows. But all this stuff in recent years has started to pop up on Facebook Marketplace. Like, I got at least one of those Knapford stations over there. I got one of the crankies here. Definitely a lot of track, a couple of engines. Tidmouth sheds over there I think was like 20 bucks off of Facebook Marketplace. So as kids have grown up and their parents have decided to move on, they have been willing to part with a lot of the Thomas Wood toys, which I think is great. But they've been willing to part with them at really cheap prices, which is even better. So yes, part of these toys were sent to me, but I also have spent a little bit of my own money kind of trying to create like as cool, or like, you know, just to try to get like some interesting destinations. Like I have like the Nia set, I have 2 of the Charlie cargo lift and load sets or whatever. You know, I've tried, you know, within my abilities to get a couple of destinations in there just to make it, you know, just to try to create an island of Soder here. But as you can tell, like, I mean, there's only so much I can do. Like this is unpainted Cranky right here with unpainted Bulstrode. And then right here, this is painted Cranky with painted Bulstrode. There aren't too many differences, to be quite honest. So anyway, there's not even like areas of the layout that I feel like I should talk about, except like this big curvy mess over here, which is just me trying to create something, you know, with the track I'm given. And it's honestly like, it's just not that interesting. So like I've tried my best, I really have, but I can only do so much. So for those who don't know, like I've said, it started with unpainted trains. They gradually re-released some of the engines with painted designs. A couple of the engines that never got second releases were Rusty, Steven, Hugo, Salty, and Stanley, which you see around the turntable. Stanley is over there. And then one of the last releases we got in Thomas Wood was Kenji. He was originally supposedly a Japan exclusive. Now he's a little bit easier to find. You can find him on eBay and Amazon for somewhat decent prices, but I thought I would show those off right there. Yeah, like I tried my best. One of the bigger, or the more challenging things was that they just didn't include a lot of switches in any of the packs or anything. Like there was a Switch expansion pack you could buy, but I've never been able to find that for a good price. So I only have 3 switches on this whole layout, which leads to just like these very long, winding, almost tracks going nowhere that just aren't that great. So again, tried my best, but I think it's a painful reminder of just how boring and uninspired a lot of this Thomas Wood stuff was. Like, it really is just a shame, and these layouts are nowhere near the magnitude or the impressiveness of the classic Thomas Wooden Railway layouts that I'm used to making. So I have a bunch of cows right here because I bought a ton of these expansion packs. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. And I mean, they changed things, like the figures are different. They're not like these wood figures, they're like these 3D plastic models. I actually really like this 3D kangaroo right here. I think it's really cute. So, I mean, the whole line wasn't a total waste, but they just changed a lot of things that they shouldn't have changed. And looking back on it now, since we have new Thomas Wooden Railway, appears to be doing really, really great. I love the bigger engines and stuff. I feel like, you know, that's really what Thomas Wooden Railway should be. It should be quality toys, maybe at a more expensive price, but it's certainly better than just this uninspired junk that we have right here. I also want to show off a couple of unreleased engines that I have. When I was working on the TCC, we were going to do a story that involved Bell, so I got an unreleased Bell and water tanker right there for an episode. And then a user named TWR Collectibles, who's on Twitter and YouTube, he sent me these unreleased, unpainted versions of both Ferdinand and Connor. And Connor has some stickers, some sample information still attached to him, which I'm not going to remove for right now. So those were just some of the unreleased engines that we never got. I mean, I think at some point it was supposed to be like, you know, the unpainted trains were going to do so well that we would release like Wave 2 and it'd have like Rocky and Flying Scotsman and Bo and Rebecca and Nia. But I mean, fans and parents alike were not very supportive of the unpainted Thomas Wood, and rightfully so. I mean, they were just awful toys. So then, you know, only like 6 or 7 months after the toys launched, they decided to kind of revamp them. That's where we got like these painted engines, which, you know, doesn't fix like the sizing problems or anything like that or the details, but at least they're fully painted. And I mean, some engines don't look too terrible. Like one of the last releases we got was Toby, and he looks a little bit different, but like he looks miles better than he would if he was unpainted, you know. And obviously Edward and Henry suffer from sizing issues, but like paint really, really does matter, especially with a series like Thomas, where it's like Thomas is very clearly a blue engine. He looks really weird in anything but blue. And I feel like that's a huge part of Thomas's appeal, is that the engines are painted in these really bright colors. And when you take most of those colors away and you replace them with that like exposed wood, like it just doesn't look good. So unfortunately, Mattel really didn't realize the error of their ways until it was too late. Another engine that we got was Etienne, who again kind of suffers like a Diesel 10 problem where he's just way too short, but there is a version of Etienne out there. So overall, I mean, if it wasn't obvious, I do not miss Thomas Wood at all. I wanted to make this layout because a couple years ago for an April Fool's video, I did a Thomas Wooden Railway collection on my wood trains, but it was all the unpainted trains because I didn't have all the painted ones at the time. So that's really been the only time that I've shown all this stuff up, but I feel like I have a decent amount of stuff, and I don't think I'm going to collect a whole lot more. I mean, I have pretty much like all the trains. I think at this point it's clear that like no matter how many straight pieces you have or how many curves, like there's just fundamental problems with this track system and how it's laid out and what you can and can't do with it. So I mean, unless there's an opportunity to get some really, you know, some track at a really cheap price, like I don't really see myself doing a whole lot more. But I've continued to collect this range over the years because I do find it to be like a very, very interesting curiosity. It's more of like a snapshot in time where Mattel and Fisher-Price really didn't know Thomas Wooden Railway like they thought they did, and they thought, oh, we're just going to like, you know, revamp a classic toy line with 25 years of history and lore, and it'll be all right, and everybody will just accept it. And the thing is that no, people did not accept it. In fact, they did not buy it, and I'm sure it cost Mattel millions and millions of dollars, even though they tried to put a Band-Aid on it. They eventually pretty much had to go back to what they were doing, which was releasing like really good quality and size appropriate engines, which we all love to see. So again, I've just continued to collect this stuff as more of a curiosity. I feel like looking back on this in 10 years, it'll be like, wow, like I can't believe Mattel thought this stuff would work. But yeah, this layout is just totally uninspired. I mean, the only thing I can do once in a while is just have the track go back over it, like you see here. And then we have the bridge, it goes under there. And then we have another bridge and it goes under there. Otherwise, it's just like straights and curves all the way through. So I've done my best, but as you can see, like, yeah, this is what a Thomas Wood layout is supposed to look like. And there's a very famous picture, I wouldn't call it famous, but a well-known promo picture of what, you know, of what your Thomas Wood layout is supposed to look like. And they do a good job in this picture of making you believe that there's like a lot of toys and a lot of track pieces to collect. But honestly, you look at that picture, it's not super impressive. Like there's just trains like scattered all over the floor, like just to give off the impression that, you know, there's a lot going on. They have one of the kids like sitting in the middle of the layout to fill in like a big space. Like, yeah, like, I mean, they did a good job. Like, props to Mattel for making you think that Thomas Wood is cooler than it actually is, but really it isn't. And I feel like a layout like this is just an example of like, you know, I have a lot of the big items. I don't have everything. I don't have every set ever made. But, like, this is just an example on a smaller scale of what I tried to do with this Thomas Wood stuff, and it didn't really work out. So, anyway, I think I'm going to pack all this stuff up for now. It's been kind of cool to collect this stuff over the years. It was really cheap for a while on Amazon, like when the line was not doing well. But then when the COVID-19 pandemic started in early 2020 and everybody was trapped at home, of course, everybody went on to Amazon and started buying this stuff up because they couldn't go to stores. And nowadays, if you want some of this wood stuff, I mean, you'll have to pay like way more than retail price for what it used to cost. And that just blows my mind because these toys are not very good. Like, they are awful toys. So the only reason I bought most of this stuff was because I could get it for super cheap, and it was pretty much on clearance for a couple of years. I could get the track packs for like $7. I bought, you know, Birdies and Thomases and, you know, Rosies and stuff for like $6 or $7 a piece. And it was all kind of leading to this moment of building a layout just to see what I could make. And well, here we are. So anyway, that is a look at a Thomas & Friends Wood Railway. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't be afraid to, or don't feel the need to mince your words. no offense taken. It's just a different type of Wooden Railway merchandise line, and I'm so happy that we don't have to deal with this anymore. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me just show off real quick the Day Out with Thomas toys that were produced during this time. That was 2018. It was like a passenger coach. And then 2019, they moved the Thomases, so there's 2019, 2020, and 2021. Before this year, for Day Out with Thomas, we have the brand new Thomas Wooden Railway Thomas that you can get as a collectible. So anyway, I think that's going to do it, guys. Thanks for tuning into this video, and as always, thanks for watching.